Welcome back to Central Kansas. We're here hanging out with Henrietta the hen. Hehe. Because I had a bunch of eggs. And it is extremely foggy. Well, not extremely. It's foggy. It's supposed to be a cloudy day. And we need to take care of our fields because if I hit escape and go over here, both our fields are grown. Reminder, corn, wheat, cool. Alright, so we are going to start with corn because it's going to take the longest. And y'all wanted to see the corn harvest done on screen. Now, I have been working at the silo. In fact, let me go over to the silo. I've been working at the silo. Oh, it takes forever. So, I have 136 or so more trips to do before it's empty. Yeah, not going to happen on screen. In fact, we're just going to get that off of there because I actually need this tractor. Come on, start up. Come on, let's go. Thank you. I need this tractor for a very specific reason, which we'll get to in a momento. Also, does anyone know where in the world I parked my transport trailer? Because I don't remember. Where in the world? I've tabbed through all my vehicles at least twice, and I haven't seen my transport trailer, which means I've parked it somewhere. And I don't know where. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. You know what? It's probably underneath the big building over on the far side of the field. So we're going to go get the transport trailer with this guy. Now you're saying, wait, you bought that big case. That's your transport trailer vehicle? Well, yes, it is to some degree. Let's turn on some lights. No, turn the lights on. It is. It makes sense as a transport trailer vehicle. But what I'm going to need to do here, I'm afraid of the wither feature of that tractor. We'll talk about what I'm going to do here in a moment. Back. There we go. Hook up. There. Perfect. Lights. Alright, we're going to drive into the middle of this here. We're going to park. We're going to go get the combine. Get it hooked up to its head. And, yeah. Then we're going to get moving. Now, we only have 125,000. So I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to do that entire silo, and the silo would be all sorted out and everything. Just didn't work out that way. Start him up. Because I need 300,000 to get the other, TerraTrack. So, at that price tag, we gotta sell stuff. We're kind of running low on monies. I did have a think about cows. We will work on cows, I think. I know someone pointed out it's really expensive, but it's also profitable. So, alright, let's unfold that while we're driving. Let's also go here and go into working mode. Go. Nice. Alright, we're going to start him on the far side over here. Come on. Here we go. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Turn on some lights. Oh, where's this field end? Oh, children of the corn. Come on, field. You are. Alright. This is going to be a lot of corn, I have a feeling. Go. Perfection. Perfection is a terrible, terrible curse. Okay. go ahead and hire this worker. I am going to slow him down. As soon as I remember how, there we go. Let's slow him down to something that approximates some sort of normalcy here. The reason I need to slow him down, let's put him at about 50% power here. And we're also going to zoom back in. There. Okay, now let's go get that Ford. There it is. Okay. Now, why are we here? Why are we doing this the way we're doing this? Well, as you saw this week, I showed you how to install CoursePlay, so I'm going to attempt to do a CoursePlay on collection, and that's why I don't want to use the case. My concern is the driver is going to go onto my crops and wither my crops. I don't feel like testing it in this farm, and I have not tested wither crop on crops run by the... You get my drift. I'm worried about it. So I'm going to use the Ford because I know it doesn't wither the crops. So I'm completely winging it. I have not done a combine course yet, so we are just going to wing it here. Now we're going to start. Okay, so we're going to head off. Should be good. Now I just got to find the bleeding combine wherever it is. It's 44% full. So by the time we catch up with him, he should be full, I hope. Alright, so we're just going to wing this whole CoursePlay thing. If it doesn't work, then I'll just do it by hand. And then what we'll do is we're going to go and check out some field prices on the case, and check out some other things. Just kind of poke around, see what else we can do. Like the perfect mow job over here. Nope. Alright, do I have to wait for him to fill? I think I do. I have to set his waiting point. Tractor waits at the last waypoint until it has a combine chopper in reach and said is above that. Then he drives to the combine, comes from behind, drives underneath the pipe. Okay. According to this, that's what it's supposed to do. Ah, okay. I'm going to have to manage combine. Oh, there he is. Alright, let's go. Alright. That should unload. Of course, the biggest problem is, there we go. La da da. Come on, unload. Alright, so he gets almost full on one pass. That shouldn't be too bad, I guess. Once he unloads, then we'll run back to the dump zone. And we will dump out our corn, and then I will figure out how to do this assignment of the combine. We'll see how this works. I'm nervous I'm going to get it all screwed up, and then I'm going to have a combine tractor explosion. But you really don't want that to happen. Then, once we have this sorted, if it works, we can go do some other things. I will speed up the harvest so that we'll get the harvest done, but because I don't have to pay attention to it constantly, that will be a good thing, I hope. The nice thing is no cars in Kansas, which is pretty accurate actually. They don't use cars in Kansas, they use horse and buggy. It's true. You don't have to worry about running over anything with your tractor. Other than a horse and buggy, and they just go splort. Keep moving. Got that field there that we're not going to mess with. We might pull it into a field. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see about that. I'm going to go around this way. Drive over my grass here. I gotta get out of this guy so I can actually make the turn properly. There we go, we'll just unload, because why the heck not? And then we'll go back to the start point. Okay, so stop the course recording. Now, this is going to be empty combine and offload to trailer, or empty combine and offload. It's going to be one of the others. Manage combines. Choose combine. I only have one. That is your combine. Okay. Okay. Drive course. Okay, let's save this. Course name, test. Alright. Drive. Okay, so no combine in reach. But the combine is in reach. I've assigned you this combine as your combine. See HUD. Assigned to one distinct combine. Only select combine will be unloaded, nothing else. In this mode, it doesn't matter if the tractor and combine are on the same field. Okay. Find combine. Select manually. Okay, so there. Select manually. That combine. Alright. Oh, I need to set my points. Let's see. Start at 50%, drive on at 90%. Drive now. Go do your job, bugger. So that's starting at that. Drive on at that. All right. I think I got this sorted, maybe. Okay, are you going to actually go to the combine? He's going to go but wait. What? What are you doing? Stop it. Moron. Start course at nearest waypoint. Fertilize, transfer, field work. Come on, drives to trailer and unloads now. Near transporter, fill in now. Oh, I don't want overloader. That's right. I want combine. That's what I want. And then you're set to that manually. Okay, I'm gonna move Derpy Panda here. Stupid overloader is not what you want. apparently. Okay, I'm just going to park him here, and then I'm going to go here. I'm going to say drive course. Ooh, he put the... Why did he put the tarp on? That's kind of cool, I guess. Okay, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? That's not doing anything. Stop. Empty combine and offload. Yeah. That's your combine. Okay. What am I doing wrong? Aside from many, 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 many things. Okay. So... Tractor waits to the last waypoint until it has a combine chopper in reach and set is above 50% because that's what I have my start at set. Then the driver drives to the combine, comes up from behind and drives underneath the pipe where the combine starts to unload into the tractor's trailer. If the trailer isn't full yet, drive on at percent. So the drive on at percent is 90%. That's the level at which he then drives off. Right. That makes sense. Okay, so I've got that set up. Now I just need to figure out why in the blazes. Turn around, dingus. Okay. Drive. You put your tarp on. Good. Are you actually going to do anything, or are you just going to screw with me? I'm betting he's just going to screw with me. And if that's what he chooses to do, then we're just going to throw this out the window until I can figure out how to fix my stupidity. See, he slows down like he's going to do something here. Come on. Come on. Veer to the right. Veer to the right. That's not veering to the right. That's driving right past the combine. What are you doing exactly? Seriously? What is he going to do? Now I'm curious of what in the world he's going to do. It's a good thing I'm not a cat. You know what they say about curiosity in cats. Alright, so about 111 is when we were at the top of the field. So we're coming up at the point where I met up with my combine when I did the run. Now what are you going to do? You're going to gently make a turn. That's good. Well, you're about as useless as an umbrella in the desert. Well, actually, that's kind of useful. You're about as useless as a sieve in a bailing contest. Water bailing, people, not straw bailing. Well, that was fun. Okay. Go away. Alright. Time for us to take care of this because our driver is a bit derp. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong and I could go and look it up, but I don't feel like it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the high-speed stuff, and I'm going to speed up that blooming combine, I think. Where is he anyway? We're just driving through the field. I don't care. It's a corn shark. Dun 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 dun. There he is. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload this little booger. Then I'll jump into the combine. I'll ramp his speed all the way up because I no longer care. And yeah, there. Unloady load. In fact, we can do this so that when he drives off, I'm in the combine with him. Just do this. Bing. Okay, hop out, hop in, hop out, because goodness knows I'm not going to be able to get that straight any other way. Okay. So, in lieu of actually making courseplay work, it's time for some high speed. See you on the other side of the corn harvest. Welcome into what is probably one of the longest high-speed montages that I will ever do in Farming Simulator, because I'm never doing corn again on this field ever again. But I've done it, so we're going to watch it. And eventually you will see me switch tractors because I got sick of the Ford and tried to case. Then I didn't like the case. And then I tried courseplay again. I sort of got it working, and we had all kinds of courseplay. Anyway, just enjoy the high-speed montage. Because we're going to talk about other things. The biggest thing that went on this week is, of course, E3, the gaming conference out in Los Angeles. Big news coming out of E3. We're gonna kind of break it down. I really want to look at the games that I saw coming out of E3. We'll also talk a little bit about the consoles. So let's kick it off with the consoles, because really, those of you that were following me on Twitter, on Facebook, you saw me just blitz your Twitter feed, your Facebook feed, as I live tweeted the Microsoft conference. I live tweeted the EA conference, missed the Ubisoft conference because of conflicting things. I showed up partway through the Sony conference, but I got the best part of the Sony conference live tweeted. And then Tuesday, I think, Tuesday morning, I live tweeted Nintendo's thing. It wasn't really a conference, but whatever. It was Nintendo announcing stuff. We're not going to talk about Nintendo too much because Nintendo's Nintendo. We already know what they have, Wii U. We'll deal with that in a minute. Let's hit up the whole Xbox and PS4. I'm a PC gamer, so some of this I was sort of like, oh, well, whatever. I don't really care. But when it comes down to it, we're all gamers. And if there's a great game out there on a specific console, we'll go get it. I mean, I got a PS2 for Grand Theft Auto. I got the Xbox for Forza 3. I got the GameCube for some Zelda game or something, and then we got the Wii for some other Zelda game of some sort. So even though I'm a PC gamer through and through, I do get the consoles when awesome games come out. So they matter to me to some degree. So we knew going into this that Microsoft had a new DRM and online model that was a sharp deviation from what we got from the past, the 360, the PS3, the PS2, Dreamcast, Atari, etc., etc., etc. There was a huge debate about it. I talked about it on one of these Farm Sim videos with Total Biscuit and Boogie 2988 going back and forth about used games. And we got a little bit of non-clarity from Microsoft. Basically, Microsoft glossed the issue. They're just not going to talk about it right now. They came out with games, which was great because their conference, their introduction of the console was the TV Tourette syndrome. So now they came out swinging with games. They were like, game, which was great. And then they have us all going with these games. And we'll talk about a couple of the games in a minute. And we're like, yeah, that's a good game. That's a good game. That's a crap game. That's a cool trailer. But, oh, God, not that game. And then they said, and it's going to be available for $499, 499 euros, 429 pounds. And we're like, wait a minute. That's pretty high when you think about it. $499 499 euros, 429 pounds. That will put you quite a ways towards a kicking game system. And I'm not talking console, I'm talking computer. It will put you a long ways towards a kicking computer. It won't get you all the way there. You're not going to get something like Mike, the monster computer I have, because that was a pretty hefty thing. In fact, $499 is the cost of the chip that's in this machine. But it gets you a good ways there. It gets you to a system that can play a lot of really good games. And as I've talked about before, with a computer, when you get an extra $200, you go buy a piece that goes in your computer, make your computer better. So we were all sort of like, ooh, that's kind of high. How's Sony going to respond to this? But again, Microsoft just completely ignores the whole issue about used games and their online DRM. In fact, there was an interview done. It's up at Game Trailers. It was done with the head of the Xbox division, and he was talking about how someone had sent in a quest or a concern saying they're deployed on a nuclear submarine for the U.S. Navy, so they don't have an internet connection, and they're concerned about that because they like their Xbox. And the head of Xbox goes, well, I can't imagine being on a nuclear submarine, so, well, we just told them to go ahead and get an Xbox 360. Wait a minute. You're saying because you're a soldier or a sailor defending your country, be it the United States, be it Canada, be it Great Britain, be it anybody, you're not worthy of the new Xbox One? I mean, that's not really what they said, but it is what he said. So I can't even imagine where that came from. Just what? They did announce a new Xbox 360, sort of looks like the Xbox One. No, I mean, the game, the 360's lifespan is still going to be extended for quite a while. So it did make sense to announce it, make it look like a One, so people who have poor eyesight or don't know what they're talking about can assume you have an Xbox One. But really? I mean, no. So we had the Microsoft conference in the morning. There was a lot of confusion coming out of the conference. There was a lot of times they said, this is an Xbox exclusive. And then we'd go and look at it. And we being a lot of us who are following the games thing, Total Biscuit, Dan over at Nerd Cubed, IGN, a large group of us were all sort of hunting stuff down. And they'd say, this is an Xbox exclusive. And then we go looking and it's also for the PC or it's also for the PS4 or so they would say exclusive, but that's not really what they meant. They meant they get it first and then later other people get it, which was sort of, if you think about it, if you remember back, Grand Theft Auto originally came out on the PS2, was not released on anything else, and then it was eventually released onto other platforms. I think that same thing is going to happen. Again, we'll get to the games here in a minute. I want to go jumping over the EA conference, jumping over the Ubisoft conference, which I missed. I haven't actually had time to go back and look at it, but I've pulled the games that I saw on the Ubisoft conference, which honestly for me were not a lot, that I liked, and we'll talk about those. And then Monday evening, we had Sony's conference, and going into it, I thought the Sony conference, it's going to be sort of like a couple of boxers. They're going to be going around the ring. They're going to be poking little jabs at each other. They're going to use the game sort of as their boxing gloves. They're going to be like pop, 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 pop. And that was really what it was going to be. And it started out that way. We had some talk about the Vita. We had some talk about the PS3. They mentioned that you can use the PS4 as a media device, and they're integrating better with the rest of the Sony division, which makes a heck of a lot of sense. Then they started coming out swinging with the games, and it's just game. And you're kind of getting this idea of, well, okay, some of these are really PS4 exclusives, and they've made it known, and we haven't found anything to say otherwise on some of these games. And so you're like, okay, that's all right. Cool, you got the games. Now let's see what's going on. Well, then it went from like a kind boxing match to like a bare knuckle brawling UFC kick and punch and body blows, everything. I mean, Sony just came out, just whack, whack, whack. They came out and they said, we are not going to do online DRM. Well, my Twitter feed exploded. Then they came out and they said,
you can trade your used games. Actually, it was the other way around. They said used games first, then they said no online DRM. My tweet deck was just like exploding with people just like, oh my gosh. They threw down the gauntlet at Microsoft saying, you can trade your PS4 games. You can unplug your PS4 and it works, which is, sort of like what I like to do with my console systems because I don't care to be online a lot. So they threw these body blows. Then they said, oh, and it's not region locked, which is huge. Great thing there. Then they slipped in, kind of like slid it in on the backside. Everyone's like all excited. They were chanting Sony's name at the conference, which is just unheard of. Total Biscuit said he's never seen that before. They slid it in on the backside. You have to pay for multiplayer. And I'm kind of like, but we don't have to pay for multiplayer on the PC. However, you do have to pay for it for Xbox 360. Now, 360, you have to pay. You have to be a gold member to use Netflix, Amazon Prime, all that stuff. So Sony confirmed that is not going to be true for the PS4. Sweet. Awesome. Great. I don't like having to pay for multiplayer, but at least they're not putting everything behind the paywall. So they're punching. I mean, we're bare knuckle brawling, beating down Microsoft. Then Microsoft's like tottering, standing there tottering, and then the words come out. You just, I could see it. Finish him. And Sony came in. Fatality. Boom. Price. $399, 399 euros, 349 pounds. $100 less. Basically $100 less. 80. Is that 80? Yeah. 80 pounds less. $100, 100 euros, and 80 pounds less than Microsoft. Are you kidding me? I mean, let's think about this for a second. No online DRM. You can play with your used games. You can give your used games to your friends. It's not region locked, and it's cheaper. And it's the more powerful system. So really what it says is the Kinect is bloody expensive, because that's basically the entire price difference is the Kinect. And because it's not region locked, what that means is, for those of you over in the EU and UK who are getting screwed on this price pointing, it means you can come over to the United States and pick up a PS4, take it back home, and it'll work, and you pay less. I mean, you have to fly over here on a plane, but I mean, why not? We're not all terrible over here on this side of the pond. So it's huge. And it's just, you're just like, okay, Sony just a fatality. Like, serious, like you can think of any Mortal Kombat fatality, and it happened to Microsoft Monday night in Los Angeles. Now, the question is, how's Microsoft going to respond? We don't know yet. I'm betting the next 2 weeks are going to be extremely uncomfortable in Redmond. I'm thinking there are going to be a little bit of upset people there. Just saying. So that was the consoles. Again, I'm not a console guy, but when it comes down to it, I would pick up a PS4 on launch day. No problem with it. I would have no problem picking up a PS4 on launch day and feeling good about it. I would not pick up an Xbox One. I don't think Microsoft is going to move prior to launch day. I think after launch day, when they start getting their rear end handed to them in a little Dixie cup, because they're having this DRM and this used game fiasco and all of that, when they got that Dixie cup with their rear end in it, then they're going to make a change. And the question is, how long is that going to take them? And really, the more people who do not pre-order and do not buy it on launch day and walk away from Microsoft, the faster they're going to do an about face, and things will settle down in the console industry. Now, partially you wonder what the big deal was about used games. I was hoping not to go into this, but it's just segueing perfectly. I'm hoping you're enjoying the corn harvesting while I babble about this. But part of me wonders about the used game problem because, again, I'm a PC player. I don't have used games. Or I do. I picked up some at a garage sale. But those are the rarities. Those are the serious indie titles or the older games. Everything I get is digital. So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal really is the PC market has been like this for basically over 10 years, 15 years nearly, that we haven't really had the concept of a used game. Steam has really made that made the mark of no used games. Initially, I did not like that. I did not like that concept. But I've come to like it because it's cheaper. The question is, can Sony move everybody in the direction of no used games without actually saying it? And I think that's what's going to happen. I think because you can get games on PSN by being a PS Plus member, and obviously you can't trade digital games, it's going to sort of eventually work people in that direction towards the no used game market. Microsoft just jumped in too early and too fast.